NLT API Mark 13 verses 1 to 37. NLT Mark 13 Jesus speaks about the future one as Jesus was leaving the temple that day. One of his disciples said, "Teacher, look at these magnificent buildings. Look at the impressive stones in the walls." To Jesus replied, "Yes, look at these great buildings, but they will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another." 3 later, Jesus sat on the Mount of Olives across the valley from the temple. Peter, James, John, and Andrew came to him privately and asked him, "Tell us, when will all this happen? What sign will show us that these things are about to be fulfilled?" 5 Jesus replied, "Don't let anyone mislead you. 6 For many will come in my name, claiming, 'I am the Messiah.' 13:6 Greek claiming, 'I am.' They will deceive many. 7 And you will hear of wars and threats of wars, but don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. 8 Nation will go to war against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in many parts of the world, as well as famines. But this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. 9 When these things begin to happen, watch out. You will be handed over to the local councils and beaten in the synagogues. You will stand trial before governors and kings because you are my followers. But this will be your opportunity to tell them about me. 13:9 But this will be your testimony against them. 10 For the good news must first be preached to all nations. 13:10 All peoples. 11 But when you are arrested and stand trial, don't worry in advance about what to say. Just say what God tells you at that time. For it is not you who will be speaking, but the Holy Spirit. 12 A brother will betray his brother to death. A father will betray his own child. And children will rebel against their parents and cause them to be killed. 13 And everyone will hate you because you are my followers. 13:13 Greek on account of my name. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. 14 The day is coming when you will see the sacrilegious object that causes desecration. 13-14 Greek, the abomination of desolation. See Dan 9:27, 11:31, 12:11. Standing where he 13:14b or it should not be. Reader, pay attention. Then those in Judea must flee to the hills. 15 A person out on the deck of a roof must not go down into the house to pack. 16 A person out in the field must not return even to get a coat. 17 How terrible it will be for pregnant women and for nursing mothers in those days. 18 And pray that your flight will not be in winter. 19 For there will be greater anguish in those days than at any time since God created the world, and it will never be so great again. 20 Fact. Unless the Lord shortens that time of calamity, not a single person will survive. But for the sake of his chosen ones, he has shortened those days. 21 Then if anyone tells you, "Look, here is the Messiah," or "There he is," don't believe it. 22 For false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform signs and wonders so as to deceive, if possible, even God's chosen ones. 23 Watch out. I have warned you about this ahead of time. 24 At that time, after the anguish of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will give no light. 25 The stars will fall from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. 13:24-25 13:10 34:4 Joel 2 verse 10. 26 Then everyone will see the Son of Man. 13:26 A Son of Man is a title Jesus used for himself, coming on the clouds with great power and glory. 13:26 BC Dan 7:13. 27 And he will send out his angels to gather his chosen ones from all over the world. 13:27 Greek from the four winds, from the farthest ends of the earth and heaven. 28 Now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near. 29 The same way, when you see all these things taking place, you can know that his return is very near, right at the door. 30 I tell you the truth, This generation asterisk 13 to 30, or this age, or this nation, will not pass from the scene before all these things take place. 31 Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. 32 however, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows. 33 And since you don't know when that time will come, be on guard. Stay alert asterisk 13:33. Some manuscripts add and pray. 34 The coming of the Son of Man can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. When he left home, he gave each of his slaves instructions about the work they were to do, and he told the gatekeeper to watch for his return. 35 You too must keep watch, for you don't know when the master of the household will return, in the evening, at midnight, before dawn, or at daybreak. 36 Don't let him find you sleeping when he arrives without warning. 37 I say to you what I say to everyone. Watch for him. NLT API Mark 14 verses 1 to 72. NLT Mark 14 Jesus anointed at Bethany 1. It was now 2 days before Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. The leading priests and the teachers of religious law were still looking for an opportunity to capture Jesus secretly and kill him. 2 But not during the Passover celebration, they agreed, or the people may riot. 3 Meanwhile, Jesus was in Bethany at the home of Simon, a man who had previously had leprosy. While he was eating, asterisk 14:3, or reclining, a woman came in with a beautiful alabaster jar of expensive perfume made from essence of nard. She broke open the jar and poured the perfume over his head. For some of those at the table were indignant. Why waste such expensive perfume? They asked. 5 It could have been sold for a year's wages asterisk 14:5 Greek for 300 denarii. A denarius was equivalent to a laborer's full day's wage, and the money given to the poor. So they scolded her harshly. 6 But Jesus replied, leave her alone. Why criticize her for doing such a good thing to me? 7 You will always have the poor among you, and you can help them whenever you want to, but you will not always have me. 8 She has done what she could and has anointed my body for burial ahead of time. 9 I tell you the truth, wherever the good news is preached throughout the world, this woman's deed will be remembered and discussed. Judas agrees to betray Jesus. 10 Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, went to the leading priests to arrange to betray Jesus to them. 11 They were delighted when they heard why he had come, and they promised to give him money. So he began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus. The Last Supper. 12 On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb is sacrificed, Jesus' disciples asked him, where do you want us to go to prepare the Passover meal for you? 13 So Jesus sent 2 of them into Jerusalem with these instructions. As you go into the city, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him. 14 At the house he enters, say to the owner, the teacher asks, where is the guest room where I can eat the Passover meal with my disciples? 15 He will take you upstairs to a large room that is already set up. That is where you should prepare our meal. 16 So the 2 disciples went into the city and found everything just as Jesus had said, and they prepared the Passover meal there. 17 The evening Jesus arrived with the 12. 18 As they were at the table asterisk 14:18, or as they reclined, eating, Jesus said, I tell you the truth, one of you eating with me here will betray me. 19 Greatly distressed, each one asked in turn, am I the one? 20 He replied, it is one of you 12 who is eating from this bowl with me. 21 For the Son of Man asterisk 14:21 Son of Man is a title Jesus used for himself. Must die, as the scriptures declared long ago. But how terrible it will be for the one who betrays him. It would be far better for that man if he had never been born. 22 As they were eating, Jesus took some bread and blessed it. Then he broke it in pieces and gave it to the disciples, saying, take it, for this is my body. 23 And he took a cup of wine and gave thanks to God for it. He gave it to them, and they all drank from it. 24 And he said to them, this is my blood, which confirms the covenant asterisk 14:20, for some manuscripts read the new covenant between God and his people. It is poured out as a sacrifice for many. 25 I tell you the truth, I will not drink wine again until the day I drink it new in the kingdom of God. 26 Then they sang a hymn and went out to the Mount of Olives. Jesus predicts Peter's denial. 27 On the way, Jesus told them, all of you will desert me. For the scriptures say, God will strike *14:27 Greek, I will strike. Zech 13:7. The shepherd and the sheep will be scattered. 28 But after I am raised from the dead, I will go ahead of you to Galilee and meet you there. 29 Peter said to him, even if everyone else deserts you, I never will. 30 Jesus replied, I tell you the truth, Peter, this very night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny 3 times that you even know me. 31 No. Peter declared emphatically, even if I have to die with you, I will never deny you. And all the others vowed the same. Jesus prays in Gethsemane. 32 They went to the olive grove called Gethsemane, and Jesus said, sit here while I go and pray. 33 He took Peter, James, and John with him, and he became deeply troubled and distressed. 34 He told them, my soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me. 35 He went on a little farther and fell to the ground. He prayed that, if it were possible, the awful hour awaiting him might pass him by. 36 Abba, Father. *14:36 Abba is an Aramaic term for Father. He cried out, everything is possible for you. Please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine. 37 Then he returned and found the disciples asleep. He said to Peter, Simon, are you asleep? Couldn't you watch with me even 1 hour? 38 Keep watch and pray, so that you will not give in to temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. 39 Then Jesus left them again and prayed the same prayer as before. 40 When he returned to them again, he found them sleeping, for they couldn't keep their eyes open, and they didn't know what to say. 41 When he returned to them the 3rd time, he said, go ahead and sleep. Have your rest. But no, the time has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. 42 Up, let's be going. Look, my betrayer is here. Jesus is betrayed and arrested. 43 And immediately, even as Jesus said this, Judas, one of the 12 disciples, arrived with a crowd of men armed with swords and clubs. They had been sent by the leading priests, the teachers of religious law, and the elders. 40 For the traitor, Judas, had given them a prearranged signal. You will know which one to arrest when I greet him with a kiss. Then you can take him away under guard. 45 As soon as they arrived, Judas walked up to Jesus. Rabbi, he exclaimed, and gave him the kiss. 46 Then the others grabbed Jesus and arrested him. 47 But one of the men with Jesus pulled out his sword and struck the high priest's slave, slashing off his ear. 48 Jesus asked them, am I some dangerous revolutionary, that you come with swords and clubs to arrest me? 49 Why didn't you arrest me in the temple? I was there among you teaching every day. But these things are happening to fulfill what the scriptures say about me. 50 Then all his disciples deserted him and ran away. 51 One young man following behind was clothed only in a long linen shirt. When the mob tried to grab him, 52 He slipped out of his shirt and ran away naked. Jesus before the council. 53 They took Jesus to the high priest's home, where the leading priests, the elders, and the teachers of religious law had gathered. 54 Meanwhile, Peter followed him at a distance and went right into the high priest's courtyard. There he sat with the guards, warming himself by the fire. 55 Inside, the leading priests and the entire high council *14:55 Greek, the Sanhedrin, were trying to find evidence against Jesus so they could put him to death, but they couldn't find any. 56 Many false witnesses spoke against him, but they contradicted each other. 57 Finally, some men stood up and gave this false testimony. 58 We heard him say, I will destroy this temple made with human hands, and in 3 days I will build another, made without human hands. 59, but even then they didn't get their story straight. 60, then the high priest stood up before the others and asked Jesus, "Well, aren't you going to answer these charges? What do you have to say for yourself?" 61, but Jesus was silent and made no reply. Then the high priest asked him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" 62, Jesus said, "I am." 14:62a, or the "I am" is here, or "I am the Lord." See Exodus 3:14. And you will see the Son of Man seated in the place of power at God's right hand. 14:62b Greek, seated at the right hand of the power. CPS 110:1. And coming on the clouds of heaven. 14:62 c Dan 7:13. 63, then the high priest tore his clothing to show his horror and said, "Why do we need other witnesses?" 64, you have all heard his blasphemy. What is your verdict? Guilty, they all cried. He deserves to die. 65, then some of them began to spit at him, and they blindfolded him and beat him with their fists. Prophesy to us, they jeered, and the guards slapped him as they took him away. Peter denies Jesus. 66, meanwhile, Peter was in the courtyard below. One of the servant girls who worked for the high priest came by. 67 and noticed Peter warming himself at the fire. She looked at him closely and said, "You were one of those with Jesus of Nazareth." 14:67, or Jesus the Nazarene. 68, but Peter denied it. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, and he went out into the entryway. Just then, a rooster crowed. 14:68, some manuscripts do not include "just then," a rooster crowed. 69, when the servant girl saw him standing there, she began telling the others, "This man is definitely one of them." 70, but Peter denied it again. A little later, some of the other bystanders confronted Peter and said, "You must be one of them, because you are a Galilean." 71, Peter swore, "A curse on me if I'm lying. I don't know this man you're talking about." 72, and immediately the rooster crowed the second time. Suddenly, Jesus' words flashed through Peter's mind. "Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny 3 times that you even know me." And he broke down and wept.